At that time, Dakota wasn't famous, but she already had the skills.
To be honest, she was quite a strong hitter, you know, the stuff that she did catch me with, she was strong, so it was looking to be shaping up to a good fight. You know, it was quite early, but still, it was going to be quite a good fight. But, you know, I just caught her with a couple of good shots, so.
Tries that kick in, and that's hurt Paton. That's horrible, that was. It was right under the midriff. That left body kick. I don't think she's going to get up from it. She looks in real pain here. Dakota won't let her off. She walks She'll go forwards. In for it. Kat Paton's got to be careful. There he goes, over. She turns away. She valiantly drops.
This fighter thought Dakota was dumb, so she challenged her. What you're about to witness is one of the most devastating career-ending knockouts in Muay Thai history. Kat Paton walked into the ring for her first fight against future superstar Dakota Ditcheva. She had no record, nothing. But what Kat didn't know was that Dakota already had a 10-0 record and good fan following.
Referee was forced to wave the fight off.
Oh, spinning elbow.
Oh, wow. Oh, knee. She drops.
It's a masterclass.
An
absolute masterclass.
In the red corner, Dakota Ditcheva.
What happened next would change both their lives forever. Dakota did something not good for her. She knocked out Kat Paton and finished her career forever, leaving her missing from fighting as she never came back to the sport. This is the story of a single punch that ended a dream before it even began.
Just halted that rapid progress, and can't have been an easy time for her, but I guess all fighters are born through adversity, Kieran.
February 12, 2017. The Tanko Muay Thai League was hosting what seemed like a routine matchup between two fighters at very different stages of their careers. In the red corner stood Dakota Ditcheva, already building a reputation as an unstoppable force with her perfect 10-0 record and growing fan base.
See some elbows coming potentially from this position. Punches for Dakota, raining down. They really need to improve her position.
No, referee's seen enough that Dakota Ditcheva moves to 2-0, but Kerry Isom.
By TKO in the red corner, Dakota.
But in the blue corner was Kat Paton, a complete unknown with 0 professional fights under her belt. She was stepping into her very first professional bout, and unfortunately for her, it would also be her last. What drove Paton to challenge someone so far above her level? According to sources close to the fight, Paton genuinely believed Dakota was overrated, that her record was built on weak competition. She saw an opportunity to make a name for herself by beating the rising star. She couldn't have been more wrong.
Yeah, the referee's keeping an eye on this as
and
well.
now just covering up.
Oh my goodness, this could be it.
She needs to do something.
Dakota Ditcheva with the finish yet again.
And has she been troubled yet?
Dakota Ditcheva!
From the moment both fighters stepped into the ring, the size difference was obvious. Dakota's 5'7" frame towered over Paton, and her reach advantage was immediately apparent. But it wasn't just physical. There was something else you could see in their eyes. Dakota carried herself with the confidence of someone who had never tasted defeat. 10 straight wins will do that to a fighter. She moved with precision, calculated and cold. On the other side, Paton looked nervous, the weight of stepping up against such established competition clearly affecting her. The tale of the tape told the whole story. Dakota, 10-0 record, multiple knockout victories. Paton, 0-0 record, complete amateur, but Paton had heart, and sometimes heart can overcome skill differences. Sometimes. Just not this time. As they touched gloves, you could see Dakota's predatory instincts kicking in. She knew she was facing someone completely out of her depth, and she was ready to make an example of her. The referee called for the fighters to engage, and what happened next would be talked about for years to come.
Kat Paton from Glasgow in the blue. So I talked about that back push kick and the long legs. So a real distinct height and reach advantage enjoyed by Ditcheva in this, and she's going to make it count early. Peyton's got to get on the move.
Round 1 began, and Dakota immediately went to work. Using her long frame to her advantage, she started picking Paton apart from the outside. Quick jabs, sharp leg kicks, and those devastating body shots that would become her signature. Paton tried to close the distance, showing the courage that got her into this fight in the first place. But every time she stepped forward, Dakota punished her. Sharp knees from the clinch, swift combinations that sent her stumbling backward.
Yeah, Bear's looking out of her element here. She's hurt to the body. That's it.
The end of the fight? Rich Mitchell waves it off.
You could see Dakota's timing becoming sharper as the round progressed. She was reading Paton like an open book, cutting off her movement, landing clean strikes that drained not just her energy, but her confidence. Then came the moment that changed everything. Dakota launched a crushing left body kick that landed with surgical precision. The sound echoed through the arena, a sickening thud that made everyone in attendance wince. Paton folded like a house of cards, clutching her ribs as she hit the canvas.
High kick, stiff hands behind it, almost landed flush. Peyton's having to weather an early storm hit. This kid's dynamite, isn't she? She really is so imposing.
The referee began his count. 8, 9. Paton struggled to her feet, showing the heart of a warrior. But her posture told the real story. She was done, and everyone knew it. Dakota wasted no time. She pressed forward with a series of knees and kicks, and the referee had seen enough. Fight over. TKO victory for Dakota Ditcheva in the first round.
Tries that kick in, and that's hurt Peyton. That's horrible, that was. It was right under the midriff. That left body kick. I don't think she's going to get up from it. She looks in real pain here. Dakota won't let her off.
She walks
She'll go
forwards.
in for it.
Kat Paton's got to be careful.
There he goes, over.
She turns away. She valiantly got to her feet.
What should have been a celebration quickly turned somber when the extent of the damage became clear. Paton was helped from the ring, and medical staff immediately surrounded her. The body kick that ended the fight had done more damage than anyone initially realized. In the days following the fight, disturbing news emerged. Paton had suffered significant internal injuries from that final barrage. What was supposed to be her debut became a nightmare that would haunt her for months. But the physical damage was nothing compared to the psychological impact. Sources close to Paton revealed that the beating had shattered her confidence completely. She never returned to training, never stepped foot in a gym again.
Another knockout for Dakota Ditcheva.
Dangerous.
Dakota, meanwhile, continued her meteoric rise. That knockout became part of her highlight reel, another stepping stone towards superstardom. But for every winner in combat sports, there's someone on the other side paying the price. The fight sparked immediate controversy in the Muay Thai community. Critics questioned why such a massive mismatch was allowed to happen in the first place. How does a complete amateur get matched up against a 10-0 prospect?
A matter of time.
First round finish for Dakota Ditcheva. And it was the body work that really did it. The body
Dangerous Dakota Ditcheva!
Now, Valentina, of course, has less experience than Dakota, but a clearer game plan. Close this fight down, take away the reach and the height of Dakota, as well as those really, really lethal striking skills that she brings into the smart cage. If Skititsi can close this fight down, force it into a scrappy close-range wrestling match, use her dirty boxing and her wrestling to try and swarm Dakota, put her on the back foot early and potentially start winning rounds early in this fight.
I'm ready, and I can't wait to show you who is the real warrior and just this.
Valentina Skititsi disrespect Dakota Ditcheva said, "I'm the warrior, and I'm going to show Dakota who is the real and fake champions." But she didn't know what's coming. First round brutal knockout, and Valentina Skititsi lost her right eye, and now she know who the real and fake champ.
See, already severely swollen, not even through round one. Guys, we might not see round number two with that eye looking like it does.
I think the doctor's going to step in and stop this. I don't think she's going to be able to see out of that eye.
Another right hand there from Dakota Ditcheva. Can you see? She said yes. And then he held up two fingers.
Oh, that's really bad, guys.
That's the end of the fight.
Good foul.
On December 8th, 2023, at Dublin's 3 Arena, the MMA world witnessed one of the most brutal reality checks in recent memory. The stage was set for the PFL Europe Women's Flyweight Championship final, a fight that would expose the dangerous consequences of underestimating your opponent.
For Dakota on the other side, we know she's a very strong striker, but we also saw her skills on the ground against Malin Hermansson in her first bout of the year. Now, what do we expect from Dakota? Well, I don't know because she's evolving so quickly. I expect her ground game to be very strong, but I expect her striking skill set to be where she wants to keep this fight. Use her height and reach advantage, as well as a Muay Thai pedigree, and win this one on the feet. If Skatizi closes this fight down and forces a wrestling match, then we're going to get to see the new improved ground skills of Dakota Ditcheva. But it's clear this is a striker v grappler matchup, and the winner will be the one that keeps it in their range and is able to land the more meaningful strikes throughout the fight.
In one corner stood Dakota Ditcheva, the undefeated British-Bulgarian powerhouse with a perfect 9-0 record. 7 of those victories came by devastating knockout, marking her as one of the most feared strikers in women's MMA. In the opposite corner was Italy's Valentina Skatizi, confident, vocal, and about to learn a lesson she'd never forget. But Skatizi wasn't just confident, she was disrespectful. In the lead-up to their championship clash, the Italian fighter made it clear she thought Dakota was nothing special. She is a good opponent, but maybe she never fought with someone like me, Skatizi declared with arrogance dripping from every word.
So, good for me, but she is good opponent, but maybe she never fought with someone like me, so I won't just fight.
I'm ready, and I can't wait to show you who is the real warrior. I'm like an animal, you know? So it doesn't matter who I have in front of me.
I'm like an animal, you know, so doesn't matter who I have in front of me. I won't just go to the cage, smash, and...
The trash talk was relentless. Skatizi assumed she was tougher than Ditcheva, dismissing the Brit's Barbie character and believing her own hype. She had no idea what storm was about to hit her. During the face-offs, the contrast couldn't have been more striking. While Skatizi tried intimidation tactics, puffing her chest and talking tough, Dakota remained ice-cold in her demeanor. The British fighter simply asked for the belt, manifesting victory with quiet confidence. She had the physique of a superhero and the mindset of a predator. This wasn't just another fight for Dakota. This was her coronation. Dakota blew a kiss to start what would become a masterclass in violence. Little did anyone know, they were about to witness one of the most one-sided beatdowns in PFL history.
That eye, guys, we might not see round number 2 with that eye looking like it does.
I think the doctor's going to step in and stop this. I don't think she's going to be able to see out of that eye.
Another right hand there from Dakota Ditcheva, banking an unbelievable first round.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Dan Motherheady calls a halt to the action at 5 minutes of round number 1. Declaring your winner via TKO on medical advice due to the fighter being unable to continue. Declaring your winner and 2023 Women's Flyweight Champion, Dakota Ditcheva!
The prize? $100,000 and the inaugural PFL Europe Women's Flyweight Championship. But for Dakota, it was about so much more. It was about making a statement that would echo through the entire division. From the opening bell, Skatizi's game plan seemed to be pressure and intimidation. She walked forward like a bull to the slaughter, but she was walking straight into Dakota's trap. The Italian fighter ate sharp counter-strikes for her troubles. Right hands and Dakota's signature front kick brought Skatizi back to reality fast. But this was just the beginning of her nightmare.
There, Dakota tried to drag Valentina Skatizi. Oh, nice right hand. Drives it straight through.
Clean. That beautiful from Dakota. Beautiful pump. This could be it, guys. But there's that toughness again.
It's going to take a lot to get Valentina Skatizi out of this opportunity.
Dakota recalled her elite Muay Thai training, clinching up and launching devastating knees into Skatizi's face. Each knee landed with sickening precision, the sound echoing through the Dublin arena. This clinched knee. We saw Dakota Ditcheva finish a fight last year with this exact technique, the commentators noted, sensing what was coming.
Skatizi, she's got to get around these legs. Oh, knees. This clinched knee is, we saw Dakota Ditcheva finish a fight last year with that. Nasty to the body.
Nasty knee.
She's absolutely devastating in these tight positions. Good head position here from Dakota. Nice knee to the head as well.
Skatizi attempted her only chance at survival with a desperate double leg takedown attempt, but Dakota was too strong even in wrestling. The British monster unleashed her long legs with devastating effect. When they clashed again, Dakota released a two-piece and a soda to Skatizi's skull, turning her insides to mush with hard shots. Like something out of a Wonder Woman movie, Dakota caught her rival with a right hand and uncorked the kind of knees that made everyone in the arena start to worry for Skatizi's safety. The British Bulgarian showed no mercy. More pain rained down on the face of Skatizi, whose body had taken a ton of damage. Dakota systematically broke down her opponent, targeting the head with surgical precision. Then came the moment that shocked everyone. Skatizi's face began to wear the damage in the most horrific way imaginable. Her left eye started swelling up grotesquely, ballooning to an unnatural size that blocked out her vision completely. But Dakota, showing her vicious nature, attacked the damaged eye with targeted strikes. The damage was so severe that the ringside physician had no choice but to intervene. She's going to step in and stop this. I don't think she's going to be able to see out of that eye, the commentator called as the doctor examined the horrific injury.
I think the doctor's going to step in and stop this. I don't think she's going to be able to see out of that eye. Another right hand there from Dakota Ditcheva, banking an unbelievable.
The fight was waved off due to medical advice. Skatizi was unable to continue. The brutal knees and extra punishment were the ultimate reward for her pre-fight disrespect and bullying tactics. TKO victory for Dakota Ditcheva. The message was sent, loud and clear. Summing up years of hard work in the gym, Dakota celebrated by dancing around the cage before being presented with her championship belt. The win secured her the $100,000 prize and established her as the most dangerous woman outside the UFC.
Yeah, I could see she couldn't see out of it like the last 30 seconds, so I'm surprised they didn't stop it straight away because that's why I was pointing at. There was no way the doctor was letting her out with that eye.
How do you feel about the performance? Dan Hardy and Brendan Loughnane were both saying you have the best knees in all of mixed martial arts right now. Regardless of division, man or woman, they say you've got the best knees. Do you agree?
Sure, it's funny because in Thai boxing, I never thought my clinch was any good. And then it came over to MMA, and now I seem to be using it all the time, so I'll take that one.
But for Valentina Skatizi, the lesson was learned in the most brutal way possible. Her trash talk about being the real warrior and showing Dakota, who is fake, had backfired spectacularly. The Italian fighter now knew exactly who the real champion was, and it wasn't her. The damage to her eye served as a permanent reminder of what happens when disrespect meets elite-level violence in the cage. Dakota's performance sent shockwaves through the women's flyweight division. This wasn't just a win. It was a statement that would make every future opponent think twice about underestimating the British-Bulgarian destroyer. Following this dominant performance, Dakota Ditcheva continued her rise through the ranks. In August 2024, she stepped up to face even tougher competition in the PFL American Tournament, where she faced Gina Bishop in another showcase of her devastating abilities. The victory over Skatizi established Dakota as the face of PFL Europe and one of the most exciting prospects in all of women's MMA. With her perfect record and finishing ability, many believe it's only a matter of time before she gets her shot at the biggest stage in the sport. As for Valentina Skatizi, the defeat served as a humbling experience and a reminder that in combat sports, your mouth can write checks and your skills can't cash. This fight stands as a perfect example of why respect matters in combat sports. When trash talk meets reality in the cage, there's nowhere to hide. Dakota Ditcheva proved that night in Dublin that she's not just a pretty face with power. She's a legitimate killer who backs up her quiet confidence with devastating action. Sometimes the most dangerous fighters are the ones who let their fists do the talking. What did you think of this brutal finish? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more combat sports content. Until next time, stay tuned for more stories from inside the cage.
I can't wait to finish my fight. I beginners and watch them knock 10 bags of out of each other. Very, very excited to be fighting in Ireland, fighting Belfast and Windsor Park. As you know, both sides of the family are Irish. We're flowing for, so the Scousers claim the Irish heritage as much as the Irish claim the Scousers.
Of this, I kind of knew I was going to be coming to boxing anyway this year, so I just thought, go out on your own terms, go and say goodnight to the sport you've been involved in your home country arena, and be surrounded by your own fans. And
Meatball. Molly McCann sends a clear warning message to the UFC. I always knew I'd go into boxing. The Liverpool fighter has officially closed the octagon door and stepped through the ropes, making her professional boxing debut this weekend at just 35 years old.
That energy is energy that you didn't use for the fight. You used it on the walkout, which is fun, but you got to be ready for that.
But it's not just...
What an unbelievable moment for me.
Former UFC star Molly McCann is trading her MMA gloves for boxing gloves, leaving behind a decade-long career in mixed martial arts to chase a childhood dream she never forgot. Tonight, we'll explore why McCann walked away from the UFC, what makes her boxing transition so unique, and whether Meatball Molly can really achieve her ambitious goal of becoming a world champion in an entirely new sport.
I'd been approached, do you want to box? And then when I retired, my mum said, that's enough now. So I was like, okay. So then I was with my girlfriend, Fran, in Florence, and Graham's rang me, said, right, I've got a couple of thingies. And I just lit up and I was like, Fran, please, can I box? And then I didn't tell my mum. She's like, just let your mum have a bit of time off first, because it's quite traumatic for a parent to have a child who lives getting their head punched in up.
Let's start with how we got here. Just 6 months ago, Molly McCann was fighting in front of her home fans at London's O2 Arena. But that night didn't go as planned. McCann suffered a defeat that would ultimately become her final UFC appearance. McCann's UFC journey was a roller coaster ride. After winning the inaugural Cage Warriors women's flyweight title in 2018, she entered the UFC with high hopes. Her record tells the story: 14 wins, 8 losses, with some spectacular highlights and crushing setbacks.
I'm not even going to say anything.
Was that perfect?
That's you. You can't. me and Michael are always jockeying for position.
The Liverpool native became famous for her explosive style, particularly those spinning back elbow knockouts that had fans on their feet. But McCann's biggest weakness was also her downfall: her grappling game. In her final 5 UFC fights, she lost 4, with 3 of those defeats coming by submission. I knew I wasn't going to be the best in the world in the UFC, McCann candidly admitted. That realization, painful as it was, became the catalyst for her next chapter.
Athlete, I was just over it. I think last year at that UFC Manchester card, when I broke my leg and my ribs and everything, I was just like, I don't know how much more I can take of this. I kind of knew I was going to be coming to boxing anyway this year.
Here's what makes McCann's story different from other UFC to boxing transitions. This isn't about money. While fighters like Francis Ngannou crossed over for massive paydays, McCann is actually taking a significant pay cut. I don't think people should be in combat sports just to make money, she explained. It's very dangerous. I'm taking a big cut to come to boxing because I wanted to do it and I love it.
I can't wait to finish my fight. I beginners and watch them knock 10 bags of out of each other. Very, very excited to be fighting in Ireland, fighting Belfast and Windsor Park. As you know, both sides of the family are Irish. We're flowing for, so the Scousers claim the Irish heritage as much as the Irish claim the Scousers. I'm really excited for Tanko McCann. He's a good mate of mine. His last one song, obviously, our Kevin, our boy, I really hope he gets the win. And who wouldn't be excited for Donovan Crawford rematch? I can't wait to finish my fight. I beginners and watch them knock 10 bags of out.
But McCann isn't starting from scratch. Before her MMA career took off in 2013, she was a promising amateur boxer who won an ABA national title. The foundation was always there. She just took a 16-year detour through the world of mixed martial arts. At 35, McCann knows time isn't on her side. Most fighters would be winding down their careers, not starting new ones, but she's found inspiration in champions like Katie Taylor, who at 39 is still dominating the super lightweight division. Interestingly, McCann recently discovered she and Katie Taylor are actually cousins, sharing the same grandfather. Talk about fighting genes running in the family. This Saturday night at Belfast's Windsor Park, McCann will face Ireland's Kate Radomska in a 6-round bantamweight contest. It's part of the undercard for the Lewis Crocker versus Paddy Donovan world title fight. Radomska, also 35, brings a professional record of 4 wins and 7 losses. She's currently on a 4-fight losing streak, making her what some might call a favorable opponent for McCann's debut. But in boxing, anything can happen, and McCann knows she can't afford to overlook anyone. The venue is significant too. Fighting in Belfast, McCann feels a connection to her Irish roots. Both sides of her family hail from Wicklow and Cork. It's like coming home to the motherland, she said during the promotion. McCann has signed a 10-fight deal with Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing, showing this isn't just a one-off publicity stunt. She's committed to making a real run at boxing success. McCann's goals are nothing if not ambitious. She wants to become a world champion within 8 fights. She wants to be the first UFC fighter to win a boxing world title. And perhaps most ambitiously, she wants to headline a fight at Goodison Park, home to her beloved Everton Football Club. Since I was a little girl, my dream was to be a world champion in boxing, McCann declared. I kind of let people put down my dreams and ambitions in the MMA world. And now it's time to take back who little Molly was and why she started fighting.
I just think since I was a little girl, my dreams was to be a world champion, and it was in boxing. And I'm just not here to believe that people can put down my dreams and my ambitions and what I want to be. And I've kind of let that happen in the MMA world. It's like, well, now it's time to take back who little Molly was, why she started fighting, and it was to box and it was to be the best. And boxing couldn't give to me what MMA could at the time. And I believe through every trial and tribulation and lesson that I got in MMA on the biggest stages as
they've been talking, she's been saying she's just a Barbie, she should be a model. Well, a model just beat your ass in round 2, so shut up.
That was digging deep for sure. Santos is in big trouble. She's in big trouble. Dakota Ditcheva to the body again.
After Dakota Ditcheva's brutal destruction of former UFC title challenger Taila Santos at the PFL Championships,
eu realmente não lutei, eu não me encontrei naquela luta. E não falando dela, falando de mim mesma, porque a gente como atleta, quem é atleta vai me entender que não é todo dia que a gente treina bem. Tem dia que a gente treina mal, né? A gente sai da academia, nossa, hoje o treino não foi bom. E aquela noite foi isso, nossa, hoje eu não lutei, eu não sei o que aconteceu, hoje eu não tava pra luta hoje, né? E foi o que aconteceu. Eu não tava ali, eu realmente não lutei.
Santos is now sending a clear warning message and demanding a rematch. But Ditcheva's response? Let's just say she's not holding back. Plus, we'll explore whether the undefeated British sensation is UFC bound and ready to finish what she started. Stay tuned. Let's rewind to that unforgettable night in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. The PFL Championship Finals, $1 million on the line, and Dakota Ditcheva facing her toughest test yet in Taila Santos, the woman who once went toe-to-toe with flyweight queen Valentina Shevchenko.
She's never won a belt, as she said. Like, she's not a complete fighter, is she? I'm not a complete fighter. She definitely isn't either, so... But whatever.
From the opening bell, it was clear we were watching something special. Ditcheva systematically picked apart the former UFC star, landing crushing leg kicks, brutal knees to the body, and precise combinations that had Santos in survival mode. But it was that finishing sequence that announced Ditcheva as a legitimate star, standing elbow against the cage, followed by a left hand straight to the liver that dropped Santos like she'd been shot. Game over. TKO victory at 4:41 of round 2.
Also, Dakota killing it.
I know,
she's
dude.
in the final. Taila Santos, that's a tough fight. It is. It's a step up, but Dakota's ready. Dakota's prepared. She trains hard. She's got, again, the best team around her. She's so disciplined, and she's just so fucking good, dude. Like, she is the real deal. She's the full package. I'm super excited for her. I think that this is about to be a big coming out party when she makes it look easy.
What's a prediction?
I mean, I think she's gonna knock her out. Okay. I think probably second round.
And then came the mic drop moment. An ecstatic Ditcheva grabbed the microphone and delivered one of the most savage post-fight callouts we've ever heard. They've been talking, she's been saying, she's just a Barbie. She should be a model. Well, a model just beat your ass in round 2, so shut up.
And they've been talking and she's been saying, she's just a Barbie, she should be a model. Well, a model just beat your ass in round 2, so shut up.
Absolutely ruthless. The 26-year-old Brit had just dismantled a former UFC title challenger and wasn't about to let anyone forget it. But Taila Santos isn't backing down. In a recent interview with Hablamos MMA, the Brazilian veteran sent her own message to Ditcheva, demanding a rematch and claiming she wasn't at her best that night. Santos admitted that Ditcheva's height advantage was problematic, stating, "She's very tall, and that was difficult. It was the first time I fought with someone that tall."
I'm excited for the fight. It's a big one.
Big one. And some people like to say, you know, hype is overrated, but I actually think hype puts the right pressure on the fighters that they need to perform. You seem like you had a lot to say about the haters after your last win out there. Yeah. It seems like you had a lot to say about the haters after your last win out there. Can you just talk about that emotion and everything I was going through?
Yeah, I just feel like a lot of the girls in the tournament, or mainly all of them, have been speaking a lot on my name. You know, saying that I'm hyped up more than I should be, which is all fair. You know, they can say whatever they want. I'm not bothered. What I don't like is that they don't respect my skills. You know, I don't disrespect any of their game. I take every fighter seriously in this tournament, and I just haven't had the same back. So yeah, I just got a little bit annoyed, but again, like I said, I keep my mouth shut and I let the fighting do the talking.
Hey, you definitely do that. All right, I just got a few more. What's more important, do you think, speed or power?
Ooh, speed.
But here's where it gets interesting. Santos claims she simply wasn't herself that night. "I honestly wasn't able to find my rhythm in that fight. Athletes will understand me in the sense that you don't always train well. You have bad days. That's what happened that night. I couldn't find myself. I wasn't there in the fight."
With Dakota, you know, she's more of a striker. I think, you know, I'm also a striker by origin, but, you know, I feel comfortable doing anything in MMA, so we'll see. I just think I'm more complete than Dakota, and we might see that in the fight if she does win.
Thank you. It looks like the judges came to the correct decision. I would agree with what it ended up being. However, with the amount of time it took between the fight ending to them actually reading the scorecards, what were the nerves like inside of these circuits?
Lá dentro do tempo que demorou para sair a decisão.
Eu já estava comemorando a minha vitória, né? Já sabia ali que eu tinha vencido e estava lá, só na mente já comemorando. É isso, estava comemorando.
Yeah, for her, it didn't make much of a difference. You know, she knew she did more than enough to win. One question, like from the team, and I don't know if you guys know, was that score already with the deduction?
It was not. No.
It wasn't, right? Because it doesn't add up if it was. Okay.
Now, Santos is actively campaigning for a rematch, suggesting a super fight outside the tournament format. She's entering the 2025 PFL tournament against fellow Brazilian Juliana Velasquez, but her eyes remain firmly fixed on getting another shot at Ditcheva. The question is, does Santos deserve another crack at the woman who dominated her so completely? Or are these the words of a fighter who simply can't accept that she was outclassed?
She didn't feel that strong at all. She honestly wasn't the strongest person I fought, so it surprised me a little bit. But I think I'd heard a little bit about her being in the UFC and doing similar things. I don't know. It had been thrown around a little bit, so it wasn't going to be something that I was surprised at when it came out. I clearly wasn't. You know, it's quite funny to add to all the kind of hype, like the Barbie thing and the lipstick, and then to add that, everyone was like, "Oh, she couldn't even beat her when she's taking all that stuff." So it was quite funny, really.
Speaking of rematches, Ditcheva has been dealing with her own frustrations. After her star-making performance, the undefeated champion found herself sitting on the sidelines for months, watching her momentum potentially slip away. In a recent interview with MMA Fighting, Ditcheva opened up about her concerns. It's been tough, and that's literally how I felt. That all my hard work, I was just watching it decline a little bit. But she also acknowledged the continued fan support. Anytime I post anything, or PFL posts anything, every comment under the post is, "Where's Dakota?" So, I feel like everyone's still backing me and they've not forgotten about me yet.